Trust me, you can't make this up. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Now, Tottenham 2, Man United 2. Listen, probably a fair result. And let me be honest, this was an awful match. Like I've never listen, we played Tottenham last week, and don't get me wrong, the match was terrible. But between the two teams, Chelsea was probably the better team. Today, I think a 2-2 result is probably fair. Like it would have been unfair to United if they had lost, and it would have been unfair to Tottenham if they had lost. So 2-2 for me, it is a better result. But let me say this, right? This was probably one of the... I thought Chelsea versus Tottenham was the worst one, but this one tops it off. This match was so shit. It was bad. And I mean this when I say it was a terrible game of football. Like I was looking forward to this game. I don't even know why I was looking forward to this game, because they already showed us in the Europa League final that they cannot play each other. They're just two terrible teams mixed together. Now, when Chelsea played Tottenham, again, don't get me wrong, it was an awful match as well. But you can sort of say, Chelsea put a performance. Caicedo was bumping up the midfield. Enzo Fernandez was doing his thing. Sanchez, on the other hand, he was doing his thing. So you can sort of pick up, some Chelsea players in and about who were doing quite all right. The only thing is we're playing by ourselves. Now, with that being said, United fans were talking about, no, Chelsea didn't do anything good. It was all Tottenham who were shit, which again, fair enough, they were shit. But, like I said, Chelsea did enough to be the best team. If anything, we should have scored more goals than we did. Now, I don't want to make this about Chelsea and Tottenham. Let's talk about United and Tottenham, right? Let's dive into it. So, United fans coming into this match, they were saying, because Tottenham were that shit, we should be able to beat them. They forget so soon that they've lost to this Tottenham in the Europa League final. I know the coaches were not the same. But they came into this match thinking they were just going to walk over Tottenham, which at some point I thought they were actually walking over Tottenham, even though they were shit, right? Now they go one goal ahead. They are cruising. At that point, on you're thinking, okay, the match is over. Like I couldn't see a way where Tottenham are going to come into this game. Up until the mighty Amorim decided he wanted to take out his best players. He wanted to go defensive. So what does he do? He takes on Maguire. Okay, fair enough, maybe he was injured. But then he takes off Dogu, bringing on Dalot. I'm thinking, are you forgetting that Dalot is probably one of your worst players? He's taking out Cunha. He's putting Ugarte. I'm thinking, do you actually understand that by putting Ugarte, you're going to lose possession in your midfield? Casemiro, I don't care what anybody say about Casemiro. He might be getting old or whatever, but he's still a good player. You cannot replace Casemiro with Ugarte. That's just wrong. Because at that point on, like I said, you're losing possession. He didn't finish over there. He took out Cunha, one of the ball-carrying players, one who can actually make things happen out of nothing. He takes him out of the game. Only to put Mason Mount. Someone who just runs and runs for no reason. Someone that looks busy but not actually doing anything. So by that point, I'm thinking, yeah, definitely Tottenham are coming into the game. And the worst thing happened to them that they've already used 5 subs. And their striker, Benjamin Sesko, got injured. So he had to come out. Now, because they've already used all their subs, they had to play with 10 men. At that point, I'm thinking, Tottenham got to win this. Tottenham got to win this because United took out their best players. One of their players who is also good in Sesko is now injured. So now Tottenham, as much as they are still shit, that was a point for them to come back into the game, which they did, and fair enough. Now you're thinking, all right, Tottenham are leading 2-1. Maybe you can say they edged it, even though they were shit again. But you're thinking it is quite unfair for the game to finish 2-1 because this game was written a draw from the beginning. Now Man United get a corner. What do? They scored. Vicario forgot how to punch the ball out of the box, out of his own goal. Now it's a 2-2 match. Now, as a Chelsea fan or as a neutral fan, I'm happy because 1 point each is good for me. Because I don't know what Chelsea's going to do against Wolves. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to be in the same conversations with the Tottenhams and the United. But at this point in time, that's where I'm at. So I'm thinking 2-2 is fine. 1 point each, I can live with that. But let me tell you this here. Any United fan that got distracted by those 3 games that you have won in a row must be really don't know football, because even with those games that you were winning, you were still shit. The game against Brighton could have gone a different way. The game against Nottingham Forest, yes, you could have lost that game actually. And then the other game you won against Sunderland, I can't say it could have gone either way, but you were not good either. The other team you won against, was it Brighton, Sunderland? I can't remember the other one. You were still not that good because I've watched all your games. The point I'm trying to make is, if you're a United fan who's now been Amorim in because you've won 3 games in a row, what's special about winning 3 games in a row? You are United. It should be normal for you to win 3 games in a row. Yes, I understand that Amorim hasn't won 3 games, whatever, in a row, so you were excited. But the reality is, you still unite Manchester United, one of the biggest team in the world. You cannot be distracted by winning 3 games in a row. That's normal. That is normal. Aston Villa have actually won 4 games in a row, but we don't hear about that. And they're actually a smaller team than you are. And I saw some people that were saying now they're Amorim in because it's starting to show signs. No. There were never signs. If you actually watch the United games, there was always bad signs than good. So yeah, Amorim is not a good coach. I say this and I'll say it again. He's not a good coach. Today, he almost threw that game away. By the way, he threw 2 points away because Tottenham were so bad that if he hadn't made those substitutions, taking off Cunha and Dogu, who's the other one he took out? I forgot the other substitution. Yeah, if he hadn't made those substitutions, Casemiro, you would have still been winning that game. But anyway, it is what it is. As a neutral fan, I'm so happy that this ended a 2-2 draw. And now you can share the points. And hopefully, and I pray my team don't insult me today. We can actually go and win a match. But yeah, man, it was one of the worst football I've ever watched this season. If not in my life. Apart from the final of the Europa League, this one top it. So bad. It was so bad. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say to United fans, you thought Chelsea got away with 1, right? So I was expecting you to go and beat Tottenham, which you should have done, or you could have done, by the way. But you just had a bad coach. Yeah, man. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm happy with the 4 points, and now I'll see you on the Chelsea game.